The Gemara in Avodah Zarah on Daf Yom Beis talks about a question that Hashem Yisbarach had asked Moshe Rabbeinu, alav Shalom, to forward to Bnei Yisrael. The question went unanswered for 40 years. At the end of the 40 years, Moshe Rabbeinu said to Bnei Yisrael, Hashem Yisbarach didn't give you the heart to understand, the ears to hear, and the eyes to see until today. The Gemara concludes with a statement by Rabbah, who says, from here we learn that it takes 40 years, or up to 40 years, for a person to begin to understand the intent of his Rebbe. And that's only if, because Moshe Rabbeinu had to supply the answer to Bnei Yisrael. In Torah Vav, Rabbeinu Zal explains how we, through our actions, can empower Kaviyachol Hashem Yisbarach to bring blessing to Bnei Yisrael. And with that, Rabbeinu Zal calls it, he describes it, as empowering the Adam Lasheves Al Akisei, to empower Kaviyachol Hashem Yisbarach to be able to sit on the throne of glory, the throne of his kingdom, and to direct the blessings as he decides and he desires. In the Atama to the Tikkun Zohar Kodesh in Daf Ches, describes this kisei, describes the chair, and it says that this chair has 4 legs, and the 4 legs correspond to the 4 elements of creation. And it's these legs that support the chair, that bring honor to Hashem Yisbarach, to allow him to bring the blessings to Bnei Yisrael. Rebbe Zal was all about bringing honor to the name of Hashem Yisbarach. He worked on these 4 legs of the chair. The first leg relates to Avir, to wind, to the Ruach. The Ruach is the life spirit in all of his family members and all of his students. You speak to any one of them and you realize you're in the presence of somebody that's different than anybody else. There's something different about this person. He resonates a different level of Yiddishkeit, a different level of emunah, a different level of bitachon, a different level of simchas hachayim. Moving to the next leg. The next leg is described as the leg that corresponds to water, mayim. Mayim, the Gemara in Tainus says, refers to Torah. But it also refers to tefillah, and it refers to tzedakah. The pasuk says, Shivchi kamayim libech nachach pnei Hashem, pour your heart out in prayer in front of Hashem Yisbarach. As far as tzedakah, it says, Shlach lachnecha pnei hamayim. Rebbe certainly imbued every one of his students and everybody that came into contact with him with a love for Torah, the desire to pray with the utmost concentration, and the desire, as Bobby said, as Bobby mentioned, to be one of Rabbeinu Zal's men. by giving tzedakah to Rabbeinu Zal, to Breslov causes. The third leg is described as the leg of fire. The leg of fire, Rebbe Zal showed us. Rebbe Zal built the shul in Mea Shearim. That was the example to the world of the fire of Breslov Hasidus. Bobby, you mentioned spending a summer in Eretz Yisrael in the Breslov Yeshiva. Imagine a group of boys from Brooklyn, teenage boys, never come in contact with anything remotely like Yerushalmi Hasidim. And we get thrust into the middle of Mea Shearim and into the middle of the Breslov Yeshiva. And comes Friday night, and there's a Kabbalah Shabbos, and they start singing L'cha Doidi, and the building rocks. Never have we seen anything like it. The fire of Breslov Hasidus was palpable. It was something you could feel, something you could taste. And it was that building that housed this fire, that anybody who wanted could patch into it. The fire of the Hasidim, the fire of the Zekanim, the fire of the Tzaddikim from the previous generation. And finally we come to the fourth leg. The fourth leg is the leg of earth. Earth, there are two things. I want to split it into two. When dealing with earth, there's no way we can get away from Eretz Yisrael and the love for Eretz Yisrael that Rebbe imbued in every one of the students. Never in my wildest imagination, when I was growing up, in the 15 years before I knew Rebbe Zal, did I ever dream that I would merit living in Eretz Yisrael. It was all to Rebbe's constant describing the beauty, the attachment, the longing that he had for Eretz Yisrael and what Eretz Yisrael was and what it does to everybody's soul and how everybody's attached intrinsically to Eretz Yisrael. And that lit the fire. It took quite a while for the fire to burn in me. It took 35 years for me to get to Eretz Yisrael, but Baruch Hashem, I made it. The second part of the earth, the leg of earth, is what grows from the earth. And what grows from the earth are trees. And the books that Rav Chaim puts out are made from trees. The paper comes from trees. Rebbe Zal was unique. He printed Sfarim. He printed Breslov Sfarim. From the Tikkun HaKlalis to the Sichas Haran to the pamphlets that he gave out of Shtafas HaNefesh, Meshivas Nefesh, to the Likutei Moharan that he printed, and all the rest of the Sfarim that he printed, that he gave out and he distributed at cost or below cost. When Rebbe Alav Shalom passed away, this leg, the printing of Sfarim, was feared that it would be lost. Nobody wanted to pick up that leg initially, until one person decided to fill the breach. And that one person, Reb Chaim Kramer, who took it upon himself single-handedly to take on this oil, the yoke of printing Rabbeinu Zal Sfarim and distributing them throughout the world. BRI was founded. It wasn't easy for Reb Chaim. He suffered indignities, embarrassment, refusal. He was away from home for long periods of times. But he produced, and people saw the fruits of his labor. The early Sfarim, the Shtachus HaNefesh, the Tikkun HaKlali, the Meshivas Nefesh, Rabbi Nachman's wisdom, were born of his resolute efforts and were testament to his emunat tzadikim and unwavering belief in this undertaking. It's customary on Asara B'Teves, Reb Nosson Zal's Yortzeit, to read the letter that the people of Breslov wrote to the people of Turin about the passing of Reb Nosson Zal. And in that letter it says some of the last words that Reb Nosson Zal spoke on Shabbos Kodesh before he passed away. And it was based on the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Aseh lecha Rav, uknei lecha chaver. You should make for yourself a rabbi and attach yourself to a friend. The way Reb Nosson Zal explained that is, if the rabbi is no longer there, or you no longer know where the rabbi is, then attach yourself, become a chaver to the pen, to the written word. Incredible amounts have been accomplished due to the indefatigable efforts of Reb Chaim Kramer and the team of people, of experts that he assembled. Reb Chaim overcame all the obstacles, all the naysayers, in order to bring BRI to this point. The past is a very colorful history. You can wait for the book to be written about his life and his times later on. Everyone here is aware, has seen, has benefited from the wide array of Sfarim published under the direction of BRI. It's now time to help BRI reach the next level. When I was talking to Tzvi Kramer about tonight, I asked him, so what are the goals for BRI? So he said, we need BRI to be the art scroll of Breslov. So I said to him, if that's the case, you need to find the Schottenstein. So he said to me, that's not the way it's done in Breslov. Right, Tzvi, you remember? And I said, you're right, that's not the way it's done in Breslov. When Reb Nosson Zal set out to build the klois in Uman, it was the Mesiras Nefesh of Reb Mendel of Ladizin, who gave his whole life savings, his 2 rubles, to Reb Nosson Zal to start the project. If you want to read it, by the way, it's a fascinating story, chapter 33 in Fire and Water. When Reb Nosson Zal traveled to all the other wealthy Breslovers and all the other people that he met along the way, he would say, I want you to know what Reb Mendel did. And I want you to do something in kind. Rabbi Isai, we're in a similar situation here. BRI has outgrown its quarters. It needs a real house of operations. The projects that are being worked on concurrently need their own space in which they can be developed and worked on properly. A proper storage area needs to be had for all the thousands of Sfarim. that are being brought out and that are in the production stream. A meeting room is needed where everything can be discussed in a comfortable and suitable manner. It's time for every one of us to partner with Reb Chaim in this holy task. We need to allow BRI to grow the way it should and is fitting to enhance the name of the tzaddik Rabbi Nachman of Breslov Zal. As Bobby said, it's time for all of us to step up to the plate. Because it's with us that BRI will get to the next level.